We managed the 5 consecutive wins in the latest event on Pokemon TCG Pocket. Now, I'm not shy to admit that it took me a wee minute to actually obtain this. I found this meta, the current meta, the state it is, really difficult. I was going up against Pikachu decks, I was going up against Celebi decks, Mewtwo decks, Gyarados decks, and the occasional dark deck or two. As you can see right now, I'm fighting a dark deck in the final battle, my 5th win in a consecutive win event. Now, I'm assuming they're running this to try and counter the Mewtwo's. I personally too did try those dark decks in order to get those 5 wins, and I kept coming up short. In fact, I also tried my Pikachu deck, and again, I kept coming up short. Same with Celebi. I would get to 4 wins again and again and just fail on that 5th time. Now, honestly, I do think that any of the top 5 decks could win this, 5 consecutive wins. You do need a slight bit of luck on your side. I'm not going to be shy in admitting that. I think that what makes Pokemon TCG Pocket so good is the fact that it is a little bit of luck and a lot of skill that kind of makes up this game. Those coin flips, as evil as Misty is, you kind of need those kind of elements in this game to make it fun for all skill ranges. But I wanted to go over just why I think this deck worked in particular. This is my Machamp deck. I have also done a couple of videos on this on my YouTube channel, but you know what? My original Machamp deck just wasn't quite working. So I took out Diglett and its evolution, and we added in Marowak, Cubone and Marowak, both being absolute tanks, or at least Marowak being an absolute tank and a heavy hitter. So that means I had 2 heavy hitters in this deck. Of course, the whole point of it is to try and assemble Machamp, but if you need it, you also had Marowak. And you know what? It worked, and it worked so good. Every single match I come up against, I felt like I had the right answer. Now, the reason I think Machamp works so well is if you get Machop in your starting hand, which is kind of likely, odds on you're going to get that. It only requires 1 energy in order to get you to hit. On turn 2, if you get lucky, you get Machoke, and of course, that requires 2 energy to hit. And then, if you're lucky again, you're going to have Machamp on the 3rd round, and guess what? Only requires 3 energy for that to hit too. So the evolution with Machamp just works so good with Pokemon TCG Pocket, and that's why I favor it over Golem. Many people love Golem, but I just think Machamp works that much better. Now, as we can see here, I was in a bit of a predicament. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to beat their Pokemon in 1 hit, even with the type advantage that I have. Fighting against Dark means I get a type advantage, an extra 20 points per hit, which is kind of awesome. However, I knew that it was going to kill my EX Pokemon on the next move. However, I don't think they fully understood the ability of my Shadow, because if you would have knocked out one of my Pokemon, its attack goes from 40 to 100 point damage. Now, I honestly expected my opponent to concede, so a big thank you for not conceding. I think that all too often, if the opponent reads the board right, they will concede if they think they're going to lose, but it's really nice and satisfying to actually have the game play out, get in that final hit, and get that, gratification, I guess, in putting down that final attack. But as you can see here, we are going to do Revenge. It's ramped up all the way to 100. We didn't need it, of course. He had no health whatsoever. I was really surprised about how he played those final moves. But as you can see, we are champions. We won that one. And of course, that is our 5th consecutive win. So now we got that 5th consecutive win. Let's deconstruct the deck and show you exactly what it is I use within it and why I think it is so consistent. I just think it all complements itself. Now, don't get me wrong, I thought that with the last deck build, it has only changed by 2 cards, but I do think that this fighting deck is right up there in top 5 all-time decks at the moment in the game. Now, that is going to change what with the new cards coming in. We are running 2 copies of McChoke with the McChop and McChamp. We're running Hitman Lee, who was a lifesaver against a Gyarados deck, as people love running that. And of course, Marowak is the new one. Marowak EX to be specific. You flip 2 coins, each one of them is 80 damage, and Marshadow is just ridiculous. If you can set it up, if you can bait them to attack one of your Pokemon, knock them out, so powerful. We're running 2 potions, 2 Pokeballs, a Speed X, 2 Professor's Researches, 2 Sabrina, and a Leaf. Catch you later.